Your mother's a crackhead and Kim is a known slut, so what's Ellie gonna be when she grows up?
And I don't even carry guns no more, I don't got to. Got undercover cops that illegally bust.
Raw Ja Rule. And I'm in the club, and I see them, I'm like, hey, what's up?
Stand down the barrel at 9. I knew I was a...
There was a time when the beef between Ja Rule and 50 Cent wasn't just about rap, it was all-out war. And caught right in the chaos was Ghost Daryl Hama Baum, the man everyone swore was behind the shooting that nearly took 50's life.
Respect to Eminem, 50, and with us. So Suge came, he had some Mexican. Now we from New York. You ain't never seen a with a tattoo on his forehead. He just lights the cigar, and it's the Suge. He light the cigar, and he trying to see what you gonna do. So Eminem, 50, everybody outside.
It was a classic show.
Even 50 himself dropped him in Many Men, making it sound like there was no doubt about who pulled the trigger. But years later, Detective Bill Courtney threw the whole story upside down. He dropped a bombshell claiming Hama wasn't the shooter at all. It was actually a man named Robertson Lyons. That twist had everyone's mind blown.
Had a lot of stuff out.
Right.
You know, and just been making noise. And I heard about 50 a couple years ago and just basically been following through the whole thing. And I'm just now in the position where I can start signing my own groups and signing my own acts.
Nobody saw that coming. So how did this crazy mix-up even start? After taking 9 bullets, 50 might have believed the shooter looked like Hama, or maybe someone whispered that name into his ear to stir things up. The streets were on fire back then, rumors flying left and right, and before long, all eyes were on Lyons. Then things got even wilder. Just days after the shooting, the same dude accused of trying to take 50 out was seen standing right next to Ja Rule. That's when Detective Courtney knew something didn't add up and started digging deep into the street's darkest secrets. Detective Courtney had eyes and ears everywhere, street informants, paparazzi.
5 of us and 5 of them and getting it on and fighting and bond. Some way, somehow, the lights got hit off, know what I mean? And I wasn't letting nobody get to their gun to pop me, know what I mean? So I started poking niggas straight up and down.
Insiders feeding him every juicy detail about what was going down behind the scenes. And what he uncovered, it shocked everyone. According to his findings, Ja Rule himself had allegedly hired Robertson Lyons. That revelation had people losing their minds. Soon, whispers started turning into wild theories. Maybe Supreme McGriff was really the mastermind, but what if Ja actually knew about the hit and kept quiet? Just that thought alone had the whole city buzzing. The tension between 50 and Ja didn't just pop out of nowhere, it had deep roots. It all started when 50's friend Troy allegedly robbed one of Ja's boys. After that, everything went left. Later on, when 50 and Ja crossed paths at the club, 50 tried to make peace, but Ja wasn't having it. He thought 50 was part of the setup and wanted nothing to do with him. But that's not the whole story. Not even close. Other sources claim 50 was actually the one who felt disrespected by Murder Inc. During the filming of the Murder for Life video, they allegedly snubbed him hard, and that's what really sparked the feud. From that moment on, the tension was personal, and there was no turning back.
50 Cent pulls into his grandmother's driveway. Kenneth McGriff, a guy named Son from East New York, and a guy named Godby.
So Son comes up to the car and opens fire.
Right. He's getting shot, so it's hard to see. And he turned to the guy he was with and said, I think that was Homo.
Why do you think 50 Cent thought it was Homo?
I think he said to the guy next to him, that looked like Homo. That looked like Homo. Was that Homo or something like that? I think that's how that got out.
From that point on, the tension between 50 Cent and Ja Rule never cooled. It only got louder, hotter, and way more dangerous. Every bar, every diss track, every move they made was another shot fired. It wasn't just rap beef anymore, it was war in stereo. No matter how it all started, 50 wasn't wasting any time. Back in 1999, he dropped Life's on the Line, and that track made it crystal clear. He wanted all the smoke. He was calling out Ja Rule and Murder Inc. by name. No subliminals, no filters. Just straight shots. He was letting the world know he wasn't scared of nobody.
Right after the shooting, he becomes Ja Rule's bodyguard. So I guess that was his bump. You know, after he shot him, he started bodyguarding Ja Rule and went with him every.
Meanwhile, Ja Rule's career was sky high. His debut album, Veni Vedi Veci, sold millions and turned him into one of the biggest names in hip-hop. He had hits, fame, and the spotlight all on him. But that kind of success attracts enemies, and 50 was easily the loudest one coming for his throne. Things got wild in 2000 when both rappers were booked to perform at the same club in Atlanta. What should have been just another night on stage turned into complete chaos. Words were exchanged, tempers flared, and before anyone knew it, fists started flying. Witnesses said people in the crowd could feel the tension explode when they heard, "We let these clowns know what's up." The place went crazy. But that was just the start of the madness.
I ended up getting some good surveillance photos from a source of mine. I used to have paparazzi guys give me photos, and I'd say, don't concentrate on the rapper, concentrate on all the guys around him, get me good photos.
Later that same year, 50 was in New York's legendary Hit Factory studio recording tracks when Ja Rule and his Murder Inc. crew allegedly pulled up after hearing he was there. What happened next would push their feud from lyrical to literal. It definitely wasn't for a friendly chat that night. When Ja Rule and the Murder Inc. crew showed up at the Hit Factory, all hell broke loose. A full-on brawl erupted, and in the middle of the chaos, rapper Black Child ended up stabbing 50. That moment sealed the deal. This wasn't just rap beef anymore. This was real-life street war. From 1999 to 2002, their feud burned like wildfire.
Where we go, people know we roll deep as fuck. 40, 50 Samoans, ain't no one when Debo what.
And every year it got hotter. Then in 2002, 50 dropped Wanksta, a track everyone believed was aimed straight at Ja Rule. Whether 50 meant it that way or not, the song blew up instantly, shooting to number 13 on the Billboard charts and turning 50 from the underdog into a certified superstar. Overnight, the tables flipped, and suddenly Ja Rule was the one on defense. Murder Inc. wasn't about to stay quiet, though. They tried fighting back hard. Irv Gotti even accused 50 of filing an order of protection against him and Ja, trying to paint 50 as soft. The rumor spread through the streets like wildfire, and people started talking. But when the truth finally came out, it turned out 50 never filed anything. The police automatically did it because of all the violence surrounding him. Still, by then, the damage was done. The streets didn't care about paperwork, they cared about perception. Then things got darker than ever. 50 got shot, 9 bullets, and somehow he survived. People in the streets said, "Where we go, people know we roll deep as far up, 40 to 50. While he was recovering, Ja Rule and Murder Inc. completely dominated the game. Their names were everywhere, on the charts, in clubs, on every radio station. Meanwhile, 50 was blacklisted. No label wanted to touch him, no studio would let him record. He had to leave New York and head all the way to Canada just to find a place willing to give him a chance. At that point, nobody knew what was next for 50. But one thing was clear, the story between him and Ja Rule was far from over. Ja Rule really thought 50 Cent was done for good. In his eyes, 50 was buried, forgotten, and no longer a threat to anyone. When 50's comeback mixtape dropped and didn't catch fire right away, Ja didn't even flinch. He figured the war was over and his rival was finished for good. But what Ja didn't see coming was that the streets and fate had a different plan. That same mixtape, Guess Who's Back, was about to fall into the right hands at the perfect time.
Yeah, nigga. Match, nigga. Them gangster, nigga. Straight up. Crip. All right, nigga. Shoot.
In 2002, 50's lawyer sent a copy to Eminem's manager, Paul Rosenberg, and once M heard it, he was stunned. He immediately called Dr. Dre, and both of them knew right then they had discovered something major. That one listen flipped 50's entire life upside down. Not long after, 50 signed a $1 million deal with Eminem and Dr. Dre, officially joining Shady Records and Interscope. The streets couldn't believe it. Just months earlier, 50 had been blacklisted, and now he was signed to two of the biggest names in the game. Overnight, he went from outsider to hip-hop royalty. Ja Rule, on the other hand, was furious. To him, Eminem signing 50 wasn't just business, it was betrayal. He took it as a straight-up slap in the face. Ja and his crew decided to come for Eminem too, thinking he was just another soft rapper they could scare off. They had no idea what kind of storm they were walking into, because if there was one thing you didn't do, it was come for Eminem and expect to walk away clean. It was a classic Suge-style move, bold and reckless, But Eminem, he wasn't the type to back down from anyone. What Ja Rule didn't realize was that M had his own serious muscle behind him. While Ja had the supreme team riding with him, Eminem had some real street legends watching his back too. In 2003, M linked up with the legendary Booyah Tribe for their track 911. And if you listen close, you'll catch him shouting out his Samoan backup. Everywhere we go, people know we roll deep as 40 to 50 Samoans.
Me kicking it with the nigga robbed him, and he feel like, oh, shouldn't speak to this dude because I know the kid robbed him.
That wasn't just for show, it was real. The Booyah Tribe weren't just musicians, they were family with deep ties to the Samoan gangs running Los Angeles. If you know anything about that world, then you know the Sons of Samoa don't play games. They might look calm and chill, but when it's time to handle business, they handle it fast and heavy. Their reputation alone kept people from crossing certain lines. Years later, in 2020, Booyah Tribe's nephew, Monster Ganja, came forward and dropped the truth. He revealed that back in the early 2000s, his uncles weren't just laying down tracks in the studio. They were actually serving as Eminem's personal security team. That's right, Slim Shady had his own street army keeping watch while the Murder Inc. crew was trying to bring the heat his way. It wasn't just lyrics anymore, it was protection with real power behind it. Turns out Slim Shady wasn't just fighting rap battles, he was facing real street pressure too. Word on the block was that Eminem was being extorted by the Los Angeles Crips. This kind of shakedown even had a name, checking in. It's when rappers or celebrities roll into a city with a heavy gang presence like LA, and they're expected to show respect or pay up to the local shot callers. And if they refuse, let's just say things could get ugly real fast. That's the kind of environment M had already been navigating, which might explain why he never seemed scared of Suge Knight. He'd been dealing with real threats long before Suge ever pulled up. One of the wildest moments came when 50 Cent was filming the Inda Club music video. Out of nowhere, someone shouted, "Suge Knight is here!" In seconds, the whole set went into panic mode. Suge rolled up with about 30 men, reportedly members of a Mexican gang, just to make a statement. That was vintage Suge. He loved popping up uninvited, showing his muscle and reminding everybody he was still a boss in the streets. But here's the part that shocked everyone. Eminem was right there when it all went down, and he didn't move an inch. While everyone else froze up or backed away, M stood his ground, calm and unshaken. He refused to fold, even with one of the most feared men in hip-hop staring him down. That moment said everything about who Slim Shady really was. He wasn't built to run or hide. He came from chaos, thrived in pressure, and when the streets tried to test him, he showed them exactly why his name carried weight. Then came the 2001 Source Awards, and that night could have turned deadly in a heartbeat. The tension in the room was off the charts from the moment Eminem and D12 hit the stage. Normally, artists kept their bodyguards close, but that night, strict security rules forced all guards to sit apart from their clients. That decision nearly cost everything.
Live with it, money.
But things really escalated.
According to Eminem's former bodyguard, Big Nas, things got sketchy fast. M suddenly found himself surrounded by a group of men rocking red shirts. A not-so-subtle sign they were Bloods, the same gang Suge Knight was known to have ties with. The air got thick, and you could feel something bad brewing. Big Nas noticed the setup from across the venue and sprinted through the crowd before things could explode. He later claimed it was obvious those men were sent by Suge himself, and that moment proved just how far this feud had gone. Eminem had crossed lines most rappers wouldn't dare touch, and now the danger was right in his face. But just when it seemed things couldn't get any crazier, the tension followed them all the way to Hawaii. Yeah, what was supposed to be a peaceful getaway turned into another high-stakes moment. Big Nas revealed that Eminem's crew got word Suge had plans to harm M during the event. What was meant to be a chill escape almost turned into a setup straight out of a movie. At that point, it wasn't about music anymore. It was full-on street chess. Every move mattered. Every decision could mean the difference between safety and disaster. And right in the middle of all that madness stood Eminem, unshaken, aware, and still refusing to back down from anyone. Eminem found himself standing toe-to-toe with one of the most feared men in the history of music, Suge Knight. And this wasn't just some light warning or a few angry words. Suge went full-blown gangster mode. Reports claimed he sent over 50 men from Los Angeles all the way to Hawaii with one mission, to crash what was supposed to be a chill getaway for Eminem, Snoop Dogg, and Dr. Dre. The moment those men touched down, paradise turned into a straight up nightmare. Instead of relaxing on the beach or sipping cocktails, Eminem's whole crew had to switch into survival mode. Snoop, Dre, even their wives were moving like they were in a war zone. Bulletproof vests became part of their outfits, and nobody went anywhere without protection nearby. The tension was real and danger was everywhere. Things got so serious that the Honolulu Police Department had to step in and assign officers to guard Eminem and his entourage 24/7. Imagine that. Hawaii, palm trees, sunshine, and a full police detail just to keep the peace. Eminem's former bodyguard, Big Nas, later spoke about just how crazy it got. We thought it was gonna be a vacation.
We let these, I ain't got to spit shit at these clowns, these chumps.
He said, we had our wives with us. Some people even brought their kids. The second we got off the plane, it was chaos. The cops had to escort us straight into a van. Wives, kids, everybody. Picture that, flying out expecting sand and sunsets, only to land in lockdown with the police guarding you from one of the most feared men in the industry. It wasn't just hip-hop drama anymore, it was real-life danger, and Eminem was right in the center of it all. Even if Suge Knight had actually tried to make a move on Eminem, it would have backfired hard, because Slim Shady wasn't rolling solo, not even close. Thanks to his ties with the Samoan gangs, the same powerhouse crew that backed the legendary Booyah tribe, Suge knew better than to push things too far. Those connections ran deep, and even the boldest players in the game treaded lightly around them. Eminem had a reputation in the streets. You didn't mess with him, plain and simple. But when it came to Ja Rule, M didn't even need to call in backup, because Ja made one of the biggest mistakes of his career. He crossed the line. You don't bring family into a rap beef, especially not Eminem's daughter. That move flipped the whole feud into something personal, and once that happened, there was no turning back. Eminem clapped back instantly with Haley's Revenge, a track that roasted Ja Rule while featuring his daughter's voice in the hook. Hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? He asked, turning what could have been a diss into a chilling message that hit deep. It wasn't just lyrical, it was emotional warfare. Then M and 50 linked up for their own version of Hail Mary, where they completely dismantled Ja Rule bar for bar. They taunted him for copying Tupac's style, throwing shade by saying he could never walk in Pac's shoes. The track hit hard. It wasn't just a diss, it was a declaration that Ja was out of his league. Even after the years passed and Eminem moved forward with his career, he never really let it go. Fast forward to 2018, on his Kamikaze album, M dropped one last jab at Ja Rule just to remind the world that the smoke between them might have cooled, but it never fully cleared. Some rap beefs fade out with time, but not this one. The tension between Eminem, 50 Cent, and Ja Rule has been simmering for decades, and Slim Shady made sure nobody ever forgot who really came out on top. Meanwhile, Ja Rule's career never fully bounced back.
Deal's given 1.5, maybe 1.7 million. Eminem gave him $1 million. But you got Eminem and Dr. Dre.
To this day, he's still catching heat from both 50 and M, and the internet hasn't exactly gone easy on him either. One of the wildest moments came in 2023 when Ja Rule tried to stage a dramatic comeback performance, but instead, it turned into a viral meme. It all went down on September 7th at the BMI R&B and Hip Hop Awards in Miami. Ja stepped on stage to perform his 2000 hit One of Us, but the setup left everyone speechless. He was literally tied to a giant wooden column, posing like he was being crucified, while a glowing sunset flashed across the background screens. Behind him, a choir of backup singers dressed in white robes sang like it was a gospel service. The crowd didn't know whether to clap or cringe. And of course, 50 Cent wasted zero time jumping in. He posted the clip on Instagram with the caption, "Look at this ish head. Is he supposed to be Jesus? WTF? You can't make this up. LOL. The trolling was brutal. His crew, Tony Yayo and Uncle Murda, joined the party, flooding the comment section with laughing emojis and jokes that kept the internet rolling for days. But the chaos didn't end there. Fate decided to stir things up even more. Not long after the viral moment, 50 and Ja Rule somehow ended up on the same flight. Fans couldn't believe it. Two longtime rivals sitting just a few rows apart in the same plane. Shockingly, the flight didn't turn into a mid-air showdown. After they landed, Ja Rule took to Twitter in a surprisingly calm tone, saying everything was cool and that both men had moved on from the past. It sounded like peace might finally be possible. But come on, this is 50 Cent we're talking about. In a later interview, 50 couldn't resist flipping the story. He claimed Ja was nervous the entire flight, saying he purposely walked up and down the aisle just to mess with him and keep him uncomfortable. The The internet went crazy, again, but Ja Rule wasn't about to let that slide. He jumped on Vlad TV soon after and fired back, saying 50's story was pure cap. He said he was actually asleep for most of the flight and didn't even know what 50 was talking about. And just like that, their decades-long feud got another chapter, proving that some rivalries in hip-hop never really die, they just keep finding new ways to go viral. The back and forth between 50 Cent and Ja Rule became pure comedy gold. Fans couldn't get enough of it. But nothing, and I mean nothing, beats one of 50's most legendary troll moves of all time. This one had the entire internet howling. One day, 50 jumped on Instagram and posted a screenshot showing Ja Rule's concert tickets listed on Groupon. Yeah, Groupon?
100%. Samoan. Lift up the shirt, bro. Lift up your shirt. Lift up your shirt. Show your tap. Look at that.
Back in 2020, Booyah Tribe.
For anyone who doesn't know, that's the discount app businesses use when they're desperate to fill seats or move tickets. So seeing Ja's name on there, it was basically a bright red flag screaming, nobody's buying. But 50 being 50, he didn't just laugh and scroll past, he turned it into a full-blown spectacle. He noticed the tickets were only $15 each, so what did he do? He claimed he bought 200 front row seats just so they could sit completely empty during the show. That's the kind of next-level trolling only 50 Cent could pull off. Imagine it, Ja Rule walks out on stage, lights flashing, crowd buzzing, energy high. And then he looks down at the front row, expecting fans cheering him on, only to see nothing. The first 200 seats totally empty. The only person sitting there, one dude in the middle, casually munching on popcorn, and of course, it's 50 Cent. The visual alone was hilarious. The internet lost its mind. Memes exploded everywhere, roasting Ja from every angle. It instantly went down as one of the pettiest, funniest, and most legendary moves in hip-hop history. Fans couldn't believe how far 50 took it, just to prove a point. And the best part, 50 wasn't done yet, not even close. He hopped back on Instagram again and sarcastically praised the show, posting, "What a show," with a bunch of laughing emojis. That was vintage 50, relentless, ruthless, and downright entertaining. It's moments like that that keep their feud living on forever in hip-hop history. I mean, just effing great. 50 Cent had fans in tears laughing with his next-level trolling. He really turned it into an art form. The man was unstoppable. Fans couldn't get enough, while Ja Rule was probably somewhere shaking his head in pure disbelief. Of course, Ja tried to clap back, claiming 50 made the whole thing up, but by then, it didn't even matter. The internet had already crowned 50 Cent as the undisputed king of pettiness. Even people who weren't following their feud couldn't help but laugh. Nobody had ever seen trolling done this perfectly before. It was ruthless and hilarious all at once. But then came one of the coldest moments ever caught on camera, and it sealed Ja's fate for good. During an interview, the host nervously asked 50 if he ever liked Ja Rule's music or if he'd ever danced to one of his songs. Before the poor guy could even finish, 50 leaned in with that trademark smirk and said straight up, "Ja Rule's finished." Just like that, no hesitation, no emotion, pure savage confidence. The room went silent and everyone watching knew what they had just witnessed. It was like 50 had hammered the final nail into the coffin of Ja's career, right there on camera. From that point on, there was no debate left. Ja Rule hadn't just lost a rap beef, he lost the legacy war. 50 Cent turned every diss, every troll, and every moment of ridicule into hip-hop history. Decades later, people still talk about it like it happened yesterday. And that's the power of 50 Cent, the master of the clapback, the troll king who turned pettiness into legend. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more wild stories just like this. I'll catch you in the next one.